Hey guys, Addict Cyclist here, just with a update with my Specialized S-Works Epic Brain fork. So I had a 2019 Epic with just a standard SID fork. It actually didn't even have the crown adjust, right, that the Pro and the S-Works have. It had a bottom adjust. Had the rebound up top and obviously had the brain fade at the bottom, which was annoying because it had 24 clicks. And you had to get off the bike to, adjust it while you were riding. Not that you want to play with it a lot, but there are occasions where you might want to adjust it depending upon the variation on the trail or the race. The last race I did, I basically kept it, in the medium setting. And then, right at the sprint finish, I just, chose to just completely fade it on to give me that sprinting platform. But anyway, so, when I got this bike is obviously more racy. Not just the fact that it's an S-Works, but the revision that they did with the rear brain, with the fork, the position sensitive damper in this fork, and the large piston and reservoir that's actually hidden here in the chainstay for the rear brain and inertia valve. But what I'm finding is that this bike, I've been riding the brain basically one click from fully open, where it just gives just enough firm platform to feel, that the handling is sharper, that you can get up out of the saddle, and that, the fork's not diving. What's nice about the brain fork is that because it sits very high in its stroke, that it really gives a nice positive feel on the trail. Like you can really read the ground very well and really know what the tire's doing. And when you enter a corner, you really feel alive in the sense that, the fork's not dipping, right, into the corner. And, I just like how it feels. But I do have a problem with it. So I've been noticing, and I never really measured it, but I've been noticing that on this fork, I come home from a ride and the O-ring that you measure sag with never really kind of gets above that spot there, right? And I remember my 19 fork, it always was above the Debonair logo in between the Max Travel and the Debonair logo. So it always used to sit kind of like right there, right? Which is okay, fine. And then I've been riding and it just feels like it's a rough, snappy fork. Like I just don't feel like it's really pleasant to ride. I know a lot of people have swapped out, to a race day damper, right? Got rid of the brain cartridge in there, the brain damper. But I like the brain. I never had a problem with it. But this bike again is yeah, all right. It's racier, it's firmer. They designed it in a way where it's the firmest platform that they created. But I'm really not happy with the fork. My neck hurts, my back hurts, my shoulders hurt. I'm like, something's not right. So I came home, and I left the O-ring where it was, and I took a good old tape measure, and I basically, right at the bottom here, and it's basically at 90 millimeters, right? 90 millimeters of the 100. The 100 basically is right in the middle of the Debonair logo and the Max Travel, just like my 19 fork. So I'm like, this can't be right. So I took most of the air out, I dropped it down to 20 PSI, and I gently pushed down all the way until it bottomed out. And guess what? That is where it landed, at 90 millimeters, not 100. So this is the SID 100 fork. It's a 100 chassis, but this brain is not allowing full use of travel. Listen, you have 100 millimeters of travel, you're going to want to use every bit of it up, right? 100 millimeters is not a lot when most of the bikes these days have been going, 120 fork, 120 rear or 110 rear, even 100 rear. But most of the forks these days of some of these cross-country bikes are ticking their way up to 120 millimeters. So again, my trail system, not warranted. Yeah, it might be a little bit more plush, a little bit more cushy. But again, I have no problem with 100 millimeters. My other fork was fine. This fork just seems off. So this confirmed exactly what I thought. I'm not getting full travel, right? The damper is basically bottoming out or causing me to bottom out. And, the O-ring is sitting right at 90 millimeters. So I'm losing 10 millimeters. And again, 100 mil fork, you don't want to use a whole 100 mils, of it. That's the whole point of having it. If it's a 90 mil fork, say it's a 90 mil fork. Yeah, 100 mil chassis, but it's not working. So I'm going to go ahead and order a race day damper to swap out the brain. I chose to not go with a remote. Don't want a remote on this bike. Plus, I do have the axis controller for my reverb axis, so I didn't want to clutter that spot up or have a remote top mount, right, and have it sticking up here. So I'm just going to go with the good old lever, right, crown adjust, which again is no problem with me. I've been doing crown adjust anyway with this bike, and I rarely flip it around too much while I'm riding. And if I do race, you know, typically it's one click from open, and then at the sprint, I'll just quickly turn the dial and lock it out. So, and again, what's nice with the race day damper is that it does have a blow off. So if you get yourself in a situation where you clicked it on too early, you know, it does have a little forgiveness to it. Not that you want to, you know, rely on that. It's still firm, but it's an option. So yeah, I'm very not happy with this brain fork. You know, it's a beautiful fork. It's a color match fork, so I'm not going to swap it out. You know, I'm just going to go ahead and replace that damper cartridge for it's like less than $300, like $269. Can't go wrong since we're not doing a remote. And it's a really simple, easy swap. But yeah, I don't know if you knew this. This is news to me. I posted up on a Facebook group, and everyone's like, yeah, you didn't know that? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. I'm sure other people didn't either. And there are other people that chimed in that just basically kind of giving the same feedback, that they're just not happy with this SL platform, which had the new revised position sensitive damper. So as much as the damper overall is firmer, it's higher in its stroke, and it does not have any movement when it is brain faded, you know, towards middle or fully firm. It does give that nice platform, and it does give a very more definitive breakthrough, but it's not a forgiving fork. It's very chattery, and everybody that says they went to a race day damper had basically just been speaking about like, well, they should have did it faster, or hey, you know, I knew that, you know, and I immediately, when I got my brand new S-Works, I swapped out to the race day damper. So yeah, people aren't happy with this new fork. You know, if it's you, please feel free to leave some comments. Let me hear some of your feedback too. If you did change to a race day damper, charger damper, let me know. See how you like it. See how you get on with the bike. I love the rear brain. I have no qualms about it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. This is definitely a huge improvement from the previous iteration, where it had the we'll call it a bladder that was located kind of like on the top here, where this one has a very large piston system here with more fluid, and it's less restrictive. So overall, this is definitely a better rear brain, and it is a lot firmer. No complaints. Love it. I love the firm pedaling platform. I usually keep it basically one click from full firm. It's just a nice sweet spot for me, or maybe one more click in the middle. Rarely ever go further than that or open it up. So really, really cool there. But yeah, the fork damper's going, and I'm going to get the race day damper in here and report back with how I am getting on with it, how I enjoy it. So I will make sure I update in a few weeks with my experience. And again, I'd love to hear some feedback, how you're dealing with your fork, and if you have any situations where if you've even noticed that you're not getting full travel, or maybe it's fork specific. One guy on the chat said he was only getting 85 millimeters, sent the fork back to Specialized, and nothing changed. So this new brain damper is restricting full use of this 100 millimeter fork. So yeah, that's what I'm dealing with here. So if you are getting 100 millimeters, let me know. Measure it. Your O-ring should be sitting between the Debonair logo and the max travel. That's basically 100 millimeters is like basically like right there, if not actually a little bit higher. I measured it before. That's 100 millimeters. I'm like way down here. Not right, not fair. All right, guys, thanks. If you can, please hit that like and subscribe button. Helps support the channel, helps grow the channel, and yeah, appreciate it. Thanks.